While parts of southern Canada are finally getting a break from weeks of bitter cold, a very different and dangerous story is unfolding across the north. Extreme Arctic cold has tightened its grip on northern regions, with wind chills plunging toward a staggering -60. Early this morning, temperatures in Thompson River in the Northwest Territories dropped to -51.7 degrees Celsius. With even light winds factored in, conditions became life-threatening, prompting extreme cold warnings across the region. Wind chill values near -60 mean exposed skin can freeze in minutes. This is not a brief cold snap. Forecasters say these dangerously low temperatures are expected to persist through at least Wednesday, keeping northern communities locked in deep freeze conditions for several more days. In these temperatures, everyday tasks become hazardous. Vehicles may fail to start, fuel can gel, and mechanical systems are pushed to their limits. Even stepping outside for a short period without full protection can result in frostbite or hypothermia. The coldest conditions are expected during the overnight and early morning hours, when temperatures bottom out and wind chills reach their most extreme levels. During these times, officials strongly advise limiting outdoor exposure as much as possible. Residents across the Northwest Territories and parts of Nunavut are being urged to dress in multiple layers, cover all exposed skin, and ensure emergency supplies are readily available. Authorities are also asking people to check in on vulnerable neighbors, particularly elders and those without reliable heating. While the North endures these brutal conditions, much of southern Canada is experiencing a noticeably different pattern. After weeks of persistent sub-zero temperatures, southern regions are finally seeing more seasonable conditions return. A zonal Pacific flow has taken hold across the southern half of the country, allowing milder air to move eastward. This shift is giving many communities a much-needed break from the prolonged cold stretch that dominated much of January and early February. Daytime temperatures across southern British Columbia, the prairies, and parts of Ontario are now closer to seasonal averages, with some areas even flirting with the freezing mark. While winter weather continues, the extreme cold that defined recent weeks has eased significantly for the south. The sharp contrast between the north and south is tied to the behavior of the polar vortex. This time, instead of plunging southward and spreading Arctic air across the country, the polar vortex remains weak and elongated over northern Canada. Rather than pushing cold air south, this vortex is slowly retreating toward the North Pole. As a result, the coldest air stays locked over Arctic regions, while southern Canada remains under the influence of milder Pacific air. This setup creates a dramatic temperature divide across the country. While northern communities face some of the coldest conditions of the winter, southern regions experience a more typical February pattern. Despite the milder trend in the south, winter is far from over. Snow systems continue to track across central and eastern Canada, and fluctuating temperatures could still lead to icy and slippery conditions at times. For the north, however, the focus remains squarely on safety. Wind chills near -60 are not just uncomfortable, they are dangerous. Frostbite can occur in under 5 minutes, and prolonged exposure can quickly become life-threatening. Emergency services in affected regions are on heightened alert, and residents are encouraged to plan ahead, avoid unnecessary travel, and ensure their homes are properly heated. As we move toward midweek, temperatures in the north are expected to slowly moderate, but conditions will remain extremely cold compared to seasonal norms. Any improvement will be gradual, not sudden. In contrast, southern Canada is expected to hold onto its more moderate pattern for now, offering a welcome pause from the deep freeze that dominated earlier this winter. So while many Canadians enjoy a brief reprieve, the message for the north is clear: winter is far from loosening its grip. Extreme cold remains the dominant force, and caution is essential. We'll continue to monitor this evolving pattern closely and bring you updates as conditions change. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe, especially if you're in areas impacted by this extreme Arctic cold. Please support us with like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.